I'm Possum.
In 20 years, mankind has automated the destruction of the environment. Governed by the twisted Dr. Machino, the world has little hope of survival. One last force stands against the evil robots. That force is awesome, possum, possum, possum. Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's butt. Like I have said, I don't own all great games. There are some games that I own through some means or another that are not good. And here's the perfect example of that.
You're not so awesome.
Whoa, whoa, wow, wow, okay, yeah. Oh, ow, 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 ow. You can see the excellent high quality scrolling. You know, the incredibly high frame rate. Oh god. Oh boy, wow, he floats around so much. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, precision is not the name of the game of Awesome Possum. Okay, okay. Let's go in here. Oh, really? Okay, stop it. No, over here. Nope, nope. Oh, are you serious? Really? Ugh. Nope, nope. Oh, boy. Just a little tap of the button really sends him moving. It's so sensitive, especially considering it's a digital game. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah. There, no, yes, no. Okay. It's so weird for a game to like sort of copy the speedy mechanics of Sonic, right? You know, which is what a lot of Mega Drive games were attempting to do, you know, since Sonic was the more, you know, that game was very popular on the Mega Drive. So naturally, instead of copying games like Mario, which were popular on the Nintendo systems, they were copying games like Sonic. You know, I don't know what developers were thinking in that respect, thinking that the only kind of game that they should, you know, attempt to emulate on this Sega system would be just Sonic. And not attempting to copy, you know, the other popular game from the other popular system, you know. You figured there would be some sort of demand for a game that was also not Sonic on the Mega Drive, but, you know, developers at the time, they just weren't thinking that way. Nowadays, you know, it's very ubiquitous. You know, if you make a game on a platform, then you're not like if you make Call of Duty on the PlayStation, you don't, make a puzzle game for the for the Switch, right? A Call of Duty puzzle game. It just doesn't make any sense. You would try to make the same kind of game. EA did a lot of that during the Wii era, right, where they were trying to make a game on the Wii, right? But then they would make a completely different game, unlike the game style that was popular with the franchise, like with Dead Space. They made like a light gun shooter game, while the main systems that they were focusing on, they were getting an action shooter. And while there was nothing wrong with the light gun game, or with the pointer shooter game, it was not in the same genre, and therefore was kind of doomed not to be as popular, because that's not what that audience wanted. They didn't necessarily want a game with just the universe. They wanted the same kind of game, just on their platform of choice. Oh, am I ever gonna make it up here? Oh gosh, it's kind of hard to describe how the control is. So, I mean, this is a single tap. Alright, that seems normal enough. But when you jump and have a single tap, it's quite a distance. So you jump in a single tap, and that seems okay. But then if you jump and you need to readjust, right? So jump here, here. The movement is much greater. Meaning that you tend to oversteer when you're trying to make adjustments to your jumping. Whereas like a Mario or a Sonic, the adjustments of the speed are much more subtle. I think that's what's really hurting the game, is that, number one, the frame rate's terrible. And in a game where you're having to do precise platforming, if you're not able to precisely move the screen, that just makes it all the harder to do something, to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. And then number two, the control's too sensitive, so you can't do subtle movement. Number one, because the screen is so volatile, and because the movement's so sensitive. Oh boy. Kind of freaky, huh? Yeah, you see there. See how I'm trying to land on this thing, but there's an angled slope right next to the seesaw. So when I try to land on the edge of the seesaw, well, that means I'm actually landing on the sloped end of the area, which is not what I expect. I expect like the end of the seesaw to be flat, and I'm not going to like drift down the slope, but the hitbox on the seesaw is too short, and so you end up falling through that platform over and over again, with the expectation of making the right landing, and you can't because of the way the hitboxes are set up. Yeah, and you can see that this is an exploration style game, so it's not really about speed, even though the game is moving really quickly. So again, not really the Sonic type. It's just using like the Sonic style movement. And of course, the game's filled like with terrible voice samples. Because that was, that was the era of the Genesis. The Genesis could actually make some pretty good sounding voice samples, but if you consider like having to write the game code and all the graphics and fitting all that into the tiny amount of memory that was available, it left very little room for voice samples. I've seen people demo like crisp voice samples for the Mega Drive, but like in a vacuum, like the only thing that's playing is the voice, and it's like, well, of course the sound processor can generate really crisp voice when it's the only thing it's doing. It's not a fair argument to say that the system could generate them but developers were lazy. It's like, no, developers weren't lazy. They had to fit in the game code too. So you can't just play a voice. That doesn't make a very good game. Just listening to a voice. Oh no! Oh, okay. Yeah, that sucked. Bottomless pit.
I'm so cool. Amazing.
Honestly, I thought maybe they just should have gotten rid of some of these background layers. I mean, the performance on this game is just terrible. And in this era of gaming, 60 Hz scrolling was the standard. You know, having a game that didn't scroll at 60 Hz was really unprecedented. You know, you really didn't see that many games doing that. You saw a couple games doing that during the original Nintendo era. You know, the regular NES. But by and large, most of those games were scrolling at 60 Hz. And I'm avoiding all the enemies this way. It's probably not the way to play the game. But it might be the only way to live.
Cool. I'm gonna clean up this world yet. Stop polluting.
Yeah, and obviously there's an environmental style message in this, which, you know, the less moral of folks out there would make some sort of argument that that's the thing that was destroying the game, which obviously it isn't. The thing that destroyed the game is not being a good game, not whether or not it had some sort of environmental message. But you know, if you're a dishonest person, that's the kind of thing that you would say. You know, unless you also believe that Sonic wasn't a good game because it also had an environmental theme as well. You know, a subtext, and it also had a theme of rescuing animals. So maybe if you don't like animals, you know, Sonic is a terrible game. Who knows? Oh, it's so hard to play. The jumping is so... It's just too... He just jumps too far in the air when he makes his adjustments. He just moves way too far. I wish they would have slowed it down a little bit. I think really just that slight adjustment, just making it so that he just didn't jump quite so far in the air, I think that would have really helped the game quite a bit.
I'm so cool. Wow, that was incredible. Stop polluting. Good one. I'm so healthy.
This is so terrible.
So healthy. Got it out. Yahoo! Amazing. Extra life.
Yeah, you can tell, like, just traversing the environments is more of where the gameplay focus is, not so much on fighting enemies. I mean, for the most part, you can just leave these enemies alone.
You'll pollute no more.
You know, you don't really... I mean, you get points in the game, but there's no real benefit of it. At least in Sonic, you know, as soon as you attacked an enemy, you rescued like a fuzzy little animal. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. How many of the ocean's species live there? In the coral reefs? Oh, 25%? That's the right answer. B is the answer to this question. Oh, okay. 25%. Oh, right. That's a lot, considering it's only 1% of the ocean floor. I mean, it's packed full. Awesome Possum saves the environment in the rainforest. Bonus level 1. Oh, there's a bonus level. Oh, I would rather not have... I would rather just move on to the next level.
Extra life.
Unless you're saying I'm going to play more of this game.
Check this out.
More of a punishment than a bonus.
What a ball. Now I can really jump. I'm so cool. Yahoo! That's the line. I won.
Oh, well, okay. See, to survive, how much does a hummingbird have to eat every day? A quarter of its own body weight, more than its own body weight, more than a human eats. More than its own weight? Oh, okay. I guess if it's flapping its wings, it's burning a lot of calories. Maybe I should consider flapping my wings. Ugh. I definitely feel fatter every year. I'm trying though, I really am. I'm sort of changing my diet a little bit. The exercise is harder in the winter, and the weather here is not exactly like exercise kind of weather, you know. It's a little harder to have like daily exercise when you have to bundle up in a you know, a down comforter just to stay warm. Okay. Whoa! I mean, look how far he jumps. It's just so it's just too much. Whoa, no. I think it's funny that the vision of the tree cutters in this game is literal robots that look like humans with saws in their hands, you know, as opposed to the machinery that's actually made now, which of course does not look like a human at all, and can you know, pretty efficiently cut trees. I mean, the best machines don't look like humans. You know, a machine doesn't necessarily have to have a bunch of appendages in order to do a single specified job, right? Oh, ow. Run around with a chainsaw, my goodness. How impolite. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm collecting. Yeah, and listen to this. It's like completely lazy music. Like, I think the overall melody is fine. I think somebody tried to make some songs that were catchy. But unlike some of the games that I was playing previously, you know, all the shooters and you know, things like Lizard Dragoon or Ys, you can definitely tell that there's less effort on good sounding instruments and more of just like putting something out there that works. Hey man, just jumping along these things should not be so much work. Ouch! Oh my goodness. Honestly, I'm not sure who thought like the possum would be the ideal mascot. I suppose it's not any more far-fetched than a hedgehog or an echidna, because those are not like necessarily cute animals to look at. And I live in an area with like a crap load of possums, and yeah, I can't say cute is the word that comes to mind when I see one. I just want you to be able to land on a platform without overshooting it. It does remind me of like the sort of platforming mistake that they made with ActRaiser 2, where the you know, the jumping and the landing were just way too sensitive. You know, jumping at an angle or sorry, landing at an angle, you know, at like a 45-degree angle, just does not work in a game. This is sort of what this game feels like. It's that, you know, every time you make some adjustment in midair, you're actually, you know, adjusting, you know, to a much higher degree than you want to. So yeah, subtle movement's just totally out the door. And the game has like a bunch of like platforms that need like more subtle movement, but you're not capable of having subtle movement because the jumping mechanics are so messed up. It's hard to describe. I mean, you really have to play it to understand how terrible it is, but at the same time, why would you want to play a terrible game like this? I mean, I was curious about it because it had like a really stupid title, and you know, Intention was publishing it, so I actually like a bunch of Tension games. In fact, I think I'm going to play Road Blasters a little bit later, because that's actually one of my favorite Mega Drive games. But yeah, I don't know what happened here. I guess they're trying to diversify their portfolio by, you know, doing something other than their arcade games. But this probably wasn't really the way to go about it. And look, it's like you can never see anything that's about to kill you. You know, you're always about ready to launch into something, you know, some trap that you can't see that's off screen. In that sense, they got the Sonic, you know, the Sonic formula down perfectly, because that's definitely what Sonic's all about: not being able to see something and then just getting randomly hit by it as it comes onto the screen. I know, Awesome Possum talks a lot. Let's see, what animal was mistaken for dead and displayed for 3 years at the American Museum of Natural History before breaking loose? Possum? What? A is the answer, a snail. I mean, the game's called Awesome Possum. Why wouldn't it be about a possum? Awesome Possum sees the environment in the rainforest. Bonus level 2. Oh, another bonus level. Great. Yeah, that's what we need, is more of this game. Oh, great. He can move really fast. I have a hard time keeping track of him. So terrible. Yeah, you're out of control. No kidding. The energy from the Earth's molten core is called geothermal energy. I think that's well known now, but at the time this game was released, probably not that well known. Okay, rainforest level 3. Man, are we ever gonna get out of the rainforest? Yeah, and landing on an enemy actually makes your character, you know, vault to the left or the right, whereas like in you know, in a Sonic game or a Mario game, it makes you it only makes you slightly vault to the left or right, you know, or in some cases straight up. Like everything about this game is like, like there's so many wrong decisions that were made in the game.
Never give up.
I said it's almost amazing that it even came together. It really does feel like a game that's in its beta, you know, in its beta state. You know, nothing's quite done in the game.
What a ball! I'm so healthy. Cool. You'll pay for that. Your noble breath. Stop polluting. Knockout. You'll pollute no more. All right.
Okay.
You'll pollute no more.
Oh no, Awesome Possum. What happened?
Check this out. Amazing. Extra life. Oh boy. Back off. Extra life. Yahoo!
Oh, what the heck?
Oh boy!
God, it's so terrible. Ah, no, no, no. Don't go back. You know what reminds me a lot of? It reminds me a lot of Bubsy. You know, 'cause it had the same sort of terrible jumping or landing physics, where you just land at like a really, really steep angle. Although, you know, compared to Bubsy, you know, I mean, like Bubsy is like a work of art compared to this game. And Bubsy is not a fun game. You know, it never was. Okay, where are we going? Can we make it past this level? Oh, my goodness.
Oh boy! Amazing! Oh boy! What speed! Yahoo! You'll pay for that. Cool. What a fall!
Oh, we just ran right off the ledge.
Amazing! Leave me alone! Stop polluting! Check this out! I'm so happy!
Come on.
Alright! Oh boy! I'm so healthy! And so cool!
I was like, what is going on, you know? Half the time you can't even see the ground. And in a platform game, not even being able to see the ground is sort of bad news, really.
Wow, that was incredible! Cut it out! Knockout! Oh! Never give up!
I don't even know where the checkpoint is.
And so cool! Cut it out! Ow, my head! Oh boy! And so cool!
Where are we going? Oh, right into a chainsaw. Oh boy. This is not good.
Ow, ooh. Check this out! Watch it!
Oh jeez, how far can we go with this thing? What? Yeah, well, where's the last place I...
And so cool! And so cool!
No. No! Damn it. Get away from that thing. Oh, no, no! Ah, who thought this was a good idea?
And so cool! Check this out!
Oh god, I finally got to the midway point.
No! Extra life and so cool. Amazing. Awesome.
Oh, come on. Straight into spikes.
Leave me alone. Yahoo! Cool. Check this out. Ah!
So terrible.
There, noble brat. Now it's really bad. And so cool. Amazing. Whoa. Now you've got it, got it. Bad guy. Knockout. Cool.
Oh god.
Never give up. Wow, that was incredible.
Ugh.
Check this out. Oh boy. I'm so hyper. Oh.
It's such a dick move. Put a platform, put spikes on the end of the platform that you jump. Like such crappy design. It's very. I mean, that's like the essence of Sonic. It's like put a platform someplace, and then make sure that there's a spike there,
Take that.
just to ensure that you don't have a good time.
I'm gonna clean up this world yet. I'm gonna clean up this world yet. No!
Oh, there's two checkpoints right next to each other? What? Oh, that's weird.
Oh boy.
Not that there's a whole lot of sense that, you know, a whole lot of things that make sense in this game.
Cut it out. I'm so healthy.
Ooh, the music changed. What's going on? Oh, it's a boss battle? I guess.
Take that, you techno freak. Take that. Now you've got it, done it.
No.
I'm so cool.
god, it's so hard to avoid them.
Take that, you techno. Game over, man.
I mean, at least the scrolling, scaling text is cool. That's about the only thing that's cool in the game. Oh my god. I don't think there's any continues, is there?
I'm Possum.
Oh no. See, start begins the game, A goes to the options. What do we have for options here? Maybe we didn't even look. Difficulty awesome, normal, easy. Speech. No talking. Oh no. Chatty, small talk. Motor mouth. Oh no, we should leave that on. I mean, it's terrible. Why not? Ah. Jesus, all the way over here. Ah. Man, who makes a kid's platformer where you can't continue? I mean, you're already being cruel enough to the kid by making him play this game.
Amazing. Take that.
This is like the game that you gave your kid when they're being bad for playing too many games. It's like, oh, you like games, huh? I'll give you a game.
That was incredible.
It's the kind of game that makes you go outside and play.
I'm so happy.
I love video games! Not after you play this game, you don't love them.
Darn history.
I think the worst part about this is that, you know, nowadays, you know, these kind of really crappy games, you know, they're priced at a lower price, but this was a full price game. So it's not like this was like a budget game in that you didn't spend that much money. You know, it was only a budget game in the amount of time and money spent on making the game, but it still cost like, well, at this time, games were $50. You know, instead of the standard $60 and now $70 that they are now. Yeah, it's even hard to believe that a game that scrolls this badly is something that existed on the Genesis. You know, I would have only expected something like this to move like this, to move this badly, to move this choppy on a original Nintendo or maybe like the Master System. And it's not like this is an early Genesis game. This actually came, you know, kind of midway in the point of the Genesis, not even later, you know, when they really sort of perfected the art of making these games. You know, so I mean, things like Earthworm Jim and Bubsy, you know, existed. So this didn't exist in a vacuum, and it's not like there weren't other platform games.
Wow, that was incredible.
Again, it's strange that a game like this, that's made this badly, exists, you know, so late into the generation. I would only expect something like this for you know, for like a first year or maybe second year game. You know, that's why when you look at something like Sword of Sodan, you know, I mean, that game moves just like this, you know, in this real choppy manner with choppy animation. But that game came out, like, within the first 4 or 5 months of the system being released. So it's a little bit more understandable when a game comes out, you know, that's for a system that's just launched. But when the game's already been out, or when the system's already been out for a while, and a game like this comes out, it's like, what in the world happened?
Oh boy. Keep your heart out, Dr. Machino.
So bad. Which animal has the largest eyeball, 15 inches in diameter? Oh, I would think the blue whale. No? Oh, the giant squid? Really? Oh, I guess the blue whale can't see very much. Level 2. Oh, if you answer the questions right, you get a bonus level. Oh gosh, you should. That's an incentive not to answer the questions right. Hold on a minute. Don't worry, we won't play this too much longer. I was just hoping to at least get to the second area, you know, outside of the rainforest, but I may not be able to. Yeah, because the jumping's so terrible, that boss would normally not be a problem, you know, in a well-made game, with, you know, with good jumping physics and good landing physics. But in this one, that boss is like really, really difficult. You know, for something that has like the super simple pattern, it's only made hard because the controls are terrible. I don't even know what the hell's even getting me half the time. Where are we going? Let's see, the common midge, a small insect, can beat its wings. Let's get it wrong. Yes, then we're going to play a bonus level. I don't need more of this game. I need less of it. God, this game runs so terrible. This is one of those games that you don't put on your resume, even though it's like a completed published project. Like, did you have anything to do with Awesome Possum? I have no idea what that game is. I've never heard of it. What is it? Well, it says your name right here. Oh, that's not me. Oh, there's like a picture of it. There's a picture of your face in this manual. I have a twin brother. He's an embarrassment to the family. I can't believe he made this game. I told him not to.
Oh boy! I'm so healthy. Dark history. Extra life.
I mean, I'm sure there were some good intentions to the game, you know? I mean, it ended up being just a piece of garbage.
I'm so cool.
I mean, very few people, like go into the industry, you know, with the intention of making a terrible game. Like, nobody really wants to do that. It just ends up being that way sometimes.
What a ball! Alright! I'm gonna...
It's just amazing how big of a failure this is.
Never give up! I'm so cool!
I mean, I mean, there's not really many redeeming qualities to it. I wish I could say a lot of good stuff about it, but there really isn't much. I mean, the graphics are all muddy. You know, the sound's like super simple.
I'm so healthy.
You know, the voice samples are terrible. You know, there's pit traps and you know, traps of death everywhere. You know, the physics are bad, the jumping's bad. You know, the animation's terrible. I mean, even just something as simple as the screen scrolling is something that isn't done right in this game.
Dark history. Watch it. Wow.
You know, the hit detection is awful. I mean, look at that. I mean, the hit boxes are too short.
Check this out. Oh boy! Wow, that was incredible! Good one!
Yeah, and I think probably the levels are just actually a little bit too big, considering what kind of game this is.
I'm so cool! Oh boy!
I think worse to me is the number of enemies that are just set up to trap you. You know, they're put in places where there's a jump that you can make, and the landing point is always a spike or an enemy that's there just to cheaply take your life, which you would have had no idea that it was there because it was off screen, and by the time you see it on the screen, it's too late. You know, it's already taken your health or your hit points or whatever. Yeah.
Extra life!
It's that crappy trap gameplay that you know, defined a lot of the Sonic games. But you know, Sonic had a lot more going for it than this game. This game is like only filled with just the bad things about Sonic.
There, noble brat. I'm gonna clean up this world yet. Ow, ooh. I'm so cool. Oh boy! Amazing!
So terrible.
Never give up. Ow, ow, ooh. I'm so healthy. Hey, thank you, techno freak. Bad guys. Stop polluting. Take that.
Oh. Man, how many hits does he take?
Now you've got it, done it. All right. Take that, you techno freak. Take that. Good one. Knockout.
How does this rock keep falling over and over?
Oh boy. I won.
Oh, finally. How are we gonna get out of the rainforest? Which animal's feet support more weight per square inch? A person's feet and elephant's feet? Oh, a person's feet. I mean, the elephant is overall more mass, but we're huge fat asses. Even in the 90s. Let's see, the sea caverns. Oh boy, what do we got here?
You're annoying me, Possum.
I think he said you're an annoying thing, Possum. And he's right.
Start history.
Oh my god. Just instant death waiting you right away.
Bad guys. Their noble breath.
God, even the cool water effects can't save this level because it moves so choppy. Like you don't get to appreciate the distorting waves.
Knockout. I'm gonna clean up this world yet. I'm so healthy. Watch it.
No. God, you can barely see in front of you. Oh, look at all that stuff. I mean, the game is already slow and choppy, and then it gets even more slow and choppy with more things on the screen. And not much more. I mean, there's like what, four sprites on the screen, and this thing is like moving so slow. It's weird, he doesn't really even look like a possum. He looks more like a dog.
I'm back.
I wonder if like possum was always the choice, or if they switched to possum for whatever reason later on in development. I mean, not that Sonic looks like a hedgehog, or you know, Knuckles looks like an echidna. I mean, they look nothing like the real animals. But Mario definitely looks like a plumber. Yeah, I think Nintendo got that one right.
Tail it. All right.
I'm just kidding. I mean, you know, I'm like 80% kidding. Ow, what the hell?
Game over, man.
Oh. Game over. That's more like a bonus game over. Alright, there you go. So, this is Audap, and you've been watching Awesome Possum kicks Dr. Machino's butt running on the MegaSG. Well, you know, this game is terrible. There's nothing good about it. It has, like, no redeeming qualities. And there's not many excuses for why the game is the way it is, other than you know, the developers either not having enough time or not having enough budget or just not being able to meet their goals or wrestling with the engine or whatever. I mean, there may be a lot of reasons why this game is terrible, but regardless, you know, on a system that had a lot of good platformers with well-documented engines, it's amazing that something like this got released and got printed onto a cartridge, which, you know, in these days, printing cartridges would be incredibly expensive. You know, there was no digital market. You know, there was no cheap delivery. You know, putting things, you know, packaging things and packing things and shipping things all over the world was a very, very expensive process. Yeah, as I said, I wish there was something good I could say about the game, but I own it, and it's terrible, and it just goes to prove that, yeah, I don't have a pristine collection. Sometimes I get some things that are just bad, and I don't get to find out until much later. Yeah, so unlike a lot of times where I'll say, you know, go seek this game out to play it, don't do that. This game is not worth it. If this game ever goes for more than $2, it's already overpriced. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.